Hey, this is Notser, and we're doing Untitled. This week I want to talk about 0.6.3 public test server, how that's been going. Also, I want to discuss the possibility of, I don't know. We've got April Fools coming up, and April, if anyone who's not familiar, is video game companies are really excited about April the 1st. It's their way of doing something slightly different, and I know something's coming for World of Warships, so I'm excited for that. Finally, I want to talk about the premiums that they've teased. When do you think we're going to get all those premiums? The French cruiser line's going to come. There's going to be premiums for that. Well, there'll be a premium, hopefully. Where's the German destroyer premium? Well, we don't know where that comes from, but we'll see. Maybe 6.3 will make them comfortable. So, 0.6.3. It's been on the public test server. We've tested it. We know what's about to happen. The destroyer class is about to be reimagined in a slightly different way of thinking. And the reason I go this far is because a lot of destroyers don't use stealth firing, but pretty much every single destroyer class has to rely on the detection range of their guns when they're firing. This dictates sort of their operating range from most of their enemy ships. It makes sense, right? It doesn't seem completely ridiculous. So when I'm complaining about the removal of stealth fire, it's more to do with the removal of a reasonable range of detection for the guns. That is why the German destroyers were difficult to use and difficult to succeed with. They had an extremely long gun range that you had to deal with whenever you're firing. You were pretty much detected at the same range as a Soviet destroyer, but you didn't have access to the Soviet destroyer guns, or the laser-like accuracy, the high amount of damage, the maneuverability, the size of the ship. All that was void. And it left you with a ship and a line where you had to use smoke more often than probably you wanted to. You had to decide if you could potentially get damage here, and you had to be very mindful of how long your smoke was going to last, because that was basically the window of damage for your guns. That's coming to the Japanese and the Americans, and you're just going to have to deal with it. That is the only thing that will be happening. There's not oh, Notser, we can fix this. No, we can't. Wargaming have decided that this is going to happen, whether we like it or not, and they will not compensate until they see what happens. So multiple patches will go by, and we will either decide that they're too weak, they're just right, but I know what's going to happen. Destroyers are going to be more selfish with their smoke, so they can fire their guns and do some damage. They'll probably use torpedoes slightly more, and those torpedoes will be used in a way that will not be as effective because they have over-nerfed the detection of torpedoes slightly, in my opinion. Part of the reason all this exists is because people refuse to use tools that were available to them. And now that all those tools are more acceptable, torpedoes are just inherently less impactful. Vigilance, hydroacoustic, aircraft, maneuverability, predicting where a target might be, where a target could be, where a target isn't. These are tools that you use to actively avoid torpedoes. Whether you want that to be the case or not is irrelevant. That's just what you do. So, by the community refusing to do that, way back when they nerfed to the ground the Japanese detection on their torpedoes, and they adjusted a bunch of other things, they basically said, it's okay to be bad. It's okay to complain. We'll fix it for you. And that's basically what they've done. You have to use some sort of torpedo-accelerated torpedo. You have to have just the right angle, just the right expectation of the enemy to deal with the detectability that now exists. I don't think the base detectability and the base speed and the base range is acceptable for a lot of destroyer torpedo systems. Now, if you're like the Soviet destroyers, torpedoes are basically just icing on the cake. But if you're the Japanese, or even the Americans, or the Germans, torpedoes are not just icing. They are a integral part of your damage, and you must hit at least a couple each game to really feel like you've committed or contributed to your team. And that's just 6.3. I love the UI changes for the aircraft. I think that's great. I hate that they're taking away alternative control, manual control for tiers 4 and 5. I really disagree with that because the whole point of those tiers is to teach, and you're not teaching anyone when you don't let them try it. I love how they're like, oh, no, 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 no. We're going to give them plenty of time to play without it, and then they'll be so comfortable that at tier 6, they'll be ready to go. Yeah, no, that's not how it's going to work. They're going to be uncomfortable at tier 6, and the people are going to be better. The AA is going to be better. Everything's going to be better. It's going to be harder to learn at tier 6 than it is at tier 4 manual drop. This change was for seal clipping. It's unfortunate that they feel that this is that big of an issue that they're going to sacrifice some other aspects of the game. Maybe they'll learn from this. Maybe they'll revert it. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think I would balance a game around the idea that someone would be playing at low tiers and be really good. I wouldn't do that. Sorry. That seems unimaginable when you're trying to get people to play a class that has less than 5% population. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So that's 0.6.3. We should expect it very soon. No, the French cruisers will not be playable. Only developers and super testers are playing it. I have not heard anything about the French cruisers. I am very excited to test them out. I have no idea exactly how they're going to play. We'll have to see. Also, soon, April the 1st, anyone who's familiar with any games knows that April the 1st is usually a time where there's a bunch of little game modes that all these games put out, and you're supposed to have fun with it. So what is the game mode for this year? There was a tier 11 submarine that was shown off, teased by, I think, Wargaming Asia again, and it looks cool. I actually really like visually how it appeared in the port. I think it would be interesting. I think they need to find a way to get submarines into the game. I don't know what they do. I don't know. I don't care. I just want there to be submarines. It could be a completely different game mode. It could be, you know, 1 or 2. Just something. Something to get them in the game because it looked really cool and it could offer a unique experience that maybe that doesn't exist yet in the game. I know, oh, subs are stupid, all that stuff. I just thought it looked cool. And if something looks cool, then if you can build a gameplay loop around it that is compelling, I think it's great. I think they could make, obviously, German, American, Japanese, British. They could also do Russian, Soviet submarines, and that's easy content for them from that standpoint because there's a whole buttload of submarines. And they're not very big, you know, they're very tiny. So yeah, I was excited. But April the 1st, I think we're going to get a test bed for the sub. I think it will be, I don't know if it'll be a UI, an AI UI. I don't know if it'll be an AI controlled submarine or something along those lines, but I'm just feeling like there's going to be some submarine involved in it. And I think that's a great way to test it. That's sort of how I thought Halloween was with the escort. I think you could do whatever you want, right? You could show it off, say, oh no, it's just a bathtub or a sink, and you're just having fun there. Well, you're actually testing a major component that you're considering adding to the game. I think it's a perfect way to see how people react. It could be very fun. It could be very boring. You know, let's just see it in action. And I really want to see it in action. Please, Wargaming, give me something. Give me something on the submarine front, because it was just so cool looking, wasn't it? It was so cool seeing this sub sit in the water at the port, and it just looked good. It looked good. Now, we've talked about submarines, 6.3, the French cruiser line, premiums. They are showing a buttload of premiums that won't be coming out for a while, and it's interesting. We've got the Italian, we've got the Hood. I believe there was, what else was shown off? There was a Japanese aircraft carrier, and I expect there to be a French cruiser to go with the French cruiser line. We got the Soviet destroyer and the Robotnik. I know it's not Robotnik, but it's Robotnik to me. I'm excited. I'm excited for the possibilities that are on the horizon. There are a bunch of premiums that could be really fun. They could go hand in hand with lines that could be absolutely fantastic, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. Is there a particular premium that I'm excited for? I don't know. The German destroyers don't have their premium. At some point they will, but they don't right now. I expect them to release that. The Brits obviously have the Belfast, that is their British cruiser. The French will get a cruiser, I think. Maybe it will be the same way as the German destroyers. They'll be like, oh no, it's not going to work, so we have to take it off. I don't know, but there's definitely a French cruiser that's going to be coming out around the French cruiser line, hopefully. And we'll learn more about the French cruisers in the coming weeks, I assume, and I'll be trying to get my hands on it, trying to share my thoughts, and it'll be very fascinating. It should be fun. So yeah, that's the weekend in review. April the 1st, should expect a game mode. I expect it to be related to that submarine, that tier 11 submarine. It should be fun, hopefully. 0.6.3 will be released at some point in the near future, a couple weeks. We will have to deal with this spotting change. There's nothing we can do, and I will work towards making sure that you have as much understanding as I do on that front, especially with the destroyers. I will definitely be playing more aircraft carriers because I do prefer an RTS control method. Don't know if I'll be playing the Lexington because I think it's a piece of crap. They've nerfed American aircraft carriers into the ground, but we'll see, right? We'll see. Either way, I hope this was interesting. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.